Good evening, everyone. So, today in this session, we are going to learn about one of the important concept of mathematics, and it is one of the famous important branches of mathematics. The name of the topic which we are going to discuss right now is about the statistics department. Okay, so in the board itself, I have written clearly about the name of the topic which we are going to discuss right now. So the topic name is statistics. So first of all, let me give you an introduction about the statistics. So what is the meaning of the word statistics? So generally, before going to know the meaning of the word statistics, we need to understand the word data, D-A-T-A. So what is the meaning of the word data? So generally, data is nothing but any information which can be gathered by an observer. So whatever the information may be, if the information is going to be gathered or collected by an user or an observer, that information is said to be data. So first of all, data, we need to know what is the meaning of the word. So data is nothing but any information which can be collected, or any information which can be gathered by an observer is said to be data. So simply you can say information collected or information gathered is nothing but data. And that data, whatever the data that has been collected by an observer, it should be observed in three stages. So first of all, collection of data, and second one, whatever the data we have collected, that data must be presented. So second stage is presentation of data. First stage is nothing but collection of data. Second stage is presentation of data, and third one, analysis of data. Analysis means what are the different ways in which we can analyze the data. What are the different ways in which we can visualize the data. So the number of multiple ways is nothing but analysis. So whatever the data we have collected, that data, it must perform three important functions. So first stage is nothing but collection of data, and second stage presentation of data, and third one, analysis of data. So these three are the important stages that are going to be performed once if the data is collected. So after that one, if you observe the down, just down to the data, data has been classified into two categories. One is ungrouped data, and second one, grouped data. So data is always mainly of two types. The first one is about grouped data, and the second one, ungrouped data. Then we need to know what is the basic difference between grouped data and ungrouped data. So generally, ungrouped data is nothing but the data which is not in a unique format. So randomly, so whatever the number it may be, that number will be ready to visualize. But in grouped data, we will be having class intervals. In that class intervals, again, it will be divided into lower boundary, upper boundary, and the size of the class with a particular number. So finally, in grouped data, we will observe that class intervals are existing. In that class intervals, we are going to observe lower boundary and as well as upper boundary, and in between the difference between lower and upper boundary is nothing but size. So four steps are going to be observed in group data. So what are the four steps? In group data, we have to identify class interval, and in that class interval, second step is lower boundary and upper boundary, and the difference between upper and lower boundary is nothing but size of the class. So the data which is having these four basics like class interval, lower boundary, upper boundary, and size, that data is said to be grouped data. Otherwise, it is said to be ungrouped data. So next one, whatever the data it may be, that data must be analyzed in three different ways. So in the basic introduction, I already given you that data must be collected, data must be presented, and data must be analyzed. Coming to this analyzation part, again this data can be analyzed in three different ways. The three different ways are nothing but mean, median, and mode. So mean, median, and mode. So these three are the different ways in which the data is going to be analyzed. So mean, median, mode. These three analyzations are also known as central tendency measuring values. So we need to remember the point. mean, median, mode are also known as central tendency measuring values, except range. So we should not consider range. A range is separate. So the topic of the range will be discussed later. So first of all, we need to know mean, median, mode are nothing but central tendency measure values, but not range. Range will not be considered in central tendency measure. Sometimes in examination, they will ask you, which of the following is not a measure of central tendency? Mean, median, mode, range. Then we have to put the option range. Range will not be considered in central tendency. So this is the basic introduction. In the next session, we shall discuss about each and every analyzing part. So mean, median, mode. So how we are going to calculate, we shall look after that. Okay. So good evening. Have a nice day.